wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
So I had an epiphany, and I don't have any coffee, and I got to do a lot of stuff. Got to do a lot of stuff. Got to do a lot of videos to play catch up because my old man is coming to town. And before he dies, which because he's old, we're gonna do a lot of hiking and things. And I finally got him to come down to Vegas. He's like, "What's originally?" He's like, "Why would I come to Vegas? Nothing but whores and gambling." I'm like, "Okay, there's a little more to Vegas than whores and gambling. Things have changed since you were here back in the mafia days." So we gotta do this. But I did actually have an observation. I don't know why I didn't pick on, but you got all these ingredients. You're like, why didn't I make this souffle? It was sitting here right in front. I should have combined it. I got chocolate, I had peanut butter. Why did I make some Reese's peanut butter cups? As you know, for fun, I tune into the Nerd podcast and the Critical Drinker and It's a Gundam and all that. And in general, there's a war going on between the producers and the parasites, and they manifest themselves in people who actually like nerd culture and movies and video games and stuff like that. And then these leftist woke activists who I don't know why they chose video games and movies and media. I guess because they thought it would be fun, but they have absolutely no skills or talent, and it's becoming painfully apparent with the low quality movies and video games coming out. It isn't even the woke politics. That's like icing on top of their Marxist diarrhea cake. It's just these are bad products. But another participant in this theater play is the games journalist. I was never a big Gamergate person. I never paid attention. I ended up looking up Zoe Quinn because I remember there was this game called Depression Quest where a talentless hack created a video game. Oh my God, go into Wikipedia entry. It just shows you what like these, what would you call them? These having nothing to do people. And they go and they create their little imaginary world like, oh, I got a big Wikipedia entry. It's like, yeah, because you all have friends at Wikipedia that made this big entry about a truly unmentionable person. Media people do that a lot. You're like, some no-name journalist has a huge Wikipedia entry, and then Audie Murphy's got like one or two, Julius Caesar has a 2-page entry, and Madison McFuckwit has an 8-page, and all the accomplishments are shit. Oh, wrote for whatever. The New York Times was cited on NBC. Like, wow, you just should get a Pulitzer, man. It wasn't until I was coming back from hiking. I'm like, wait a minute, it's in the title, games journalist or game journalism. And so let me point out my observation. Journalism already, if you're choosing to major in journalism, if that's your chosen path, you have to understand how flawed that is and what kind of person chooses to go into journalism. Because for the most part, this is not some grizzled Vietnam veteran who, after serving 3 tours in Vietnam, comes back with some deep insights about the human mind and some experiences that he could speak to. This is not some Iraqi vet that comes in. This is even a professional, whatever, race car driver who has years expertise and decides to write in a specific publication about race car driving or auto sports. These are petulant well, not even adults. They start off as petulant little children who have never had to support themselves. And at 17, because you're junior, senior, you decide you're going to tell the rest of the world of the people how to live and what they should think. You think you're pretty clever. You think you have enough world experience to tell the rest of the people about what's what and what's going on. And not only is it lazy because journalism isn't a real major, and stupid because journalism isn't an intelligent thing, it's ultimately arrogant and tyrannical and hypocritical. Where you're gonna tell those old people who fought in wars and suffered from the Great Depression that, and it's all the same. It's all the same conclusion. More free shit because I'm a lazy bitch. That's it. There you go. There's journalism majors. It's been that way for God since probably the 80s. I don't believe there's any real journalism left happening anymore. So that's journalism. And it's the same criticism and complaint I have, like political science majors. You want to talk about wicked, evil, bad people, talentless people? Look at political science majors. I'm a 17-year-old and I think I should lead the country. Shut the fuck up, you future little Hitler. Just shut the fuck up. And in other words, choosing to go into this profession with having no real world experience in the real world, like working a job, whatever it may be. You can work at a factory and have more authenticity to be a you wouldn't be a political science, but you just run for office. Or you wouldn't go to journalism school. You just, hey, can I write for the factory quarterly publication? You have more authenticity because you're a real individual and human being. But let me throw another curveball at you to kind of another major for you to see why game journalism in particular is fundamentally flawed in the concept. The concept is flawed. The people are fucking trash. The people are fucking jokes. Let me show you where the concept is flawed. And that is this thing. It's the most douchiest dude bro of dude bro majors that ever was, and that is sports management. Okay, management, a general degree in business management, is bullshit. I'll grant people a little bit of forgiveness for choosing business management because it makes sense. At least that's plausible. There's a business, we make a product. You'd want to be efficient. But the degree itself is pretty worthless because business management isn't a thing. It's common sense and it's logic. And no one's going to give the reins of a company or a division to some 22-year-old graduate with a degree in business. And then if we are to criticize the quality and caliber of people who choose business, they're pretty lowbrow as well. They're not as bad as a political science major or a journalism major or whatever, if an activist, some kind of actual political major like women's studies or Chicano studies or some kind of ethnic group studies. It's not that bad, but it's still pretty lazy because you don't want to do calculus. You would be business, bro. Business. All the financial crises that we've had have been caused by business majors and MBAs. So these are not exactly the most intelligent or the moral ethical people. They're just a step above. But you throw in the idea of sports management, and now you got a whole new level of truly stupid, worthless person. Because when you have sports management, it's a combination. Well, I'm lazy with a management degree and I don't really know what to do. But then sports is where like video game development versus actual software, like programming databases or something boring and mundane. It's the little children like, ooh, I get to play with the sports ball. Oh, yeah. That and management, sports management, where you like, oh, sports bro, are you going to go and talk to the athletes, bro? And you get to sit there and watch people wash their jock straps, whatever the hell. I don't know what it is, but it's a childlike naivete that you're gonna somehow murky McFuckstick from some boring tapioca pudding suburb. You're going to go to a university's sports management program, and they're going to let you go what? Manage the Green Bay Packers? You're going to be sitting, you don't own the franchise. Of all the industries that you just aren't going to break into unless you're in it already, what do you do with the sports management degree aside from serving me coffee and asking me if I want fries with it? Honest to God. But that's the exact same thing with game journalism. The base major, the base profession is already a joke, and 98% of the people who pursue a career in journalism are hypocritical, liars, fraudulent, ulteriorly motivated. They're not there to report the truth. They're activists. They're a typical dumb shit college freshman leftist politics that you've been fed, and you're going to go save the world like Jessica and Jason Christ. But then you throw on games journalism, and that's just like, man, you have absolutely no intention of working a real job because you just want to report on games. I did a video, I think it was yesterday, about the stupidity of these visual novel games. They call them walking simulators. I did a little more research on them. They call them walking simulators where why would you have a walking simulator? Why would you have these games? And if you want, go take a look at Depression Quest as the epitomal example. That's the one that I had to harken back into my memory. Where these people, again, they're not there because they love games or movies. They're not there because they love the comic books or the source material. These are lazy people first, really close second, activists who just want to, I don't know why they choose it, but it's like, oh, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to be a journalist writing about games. Like, think about what a childish, and ultimately, we don't need you for this. Get the fuck out of here. This is why, not only in journalism, but especially in games journalism, there's so few people that are paid. You can't make money doing that. You got to work a real job on top of it. Or you become such a sensational, radical type of internet personality. Like, it was Anita Sarkeesian. That was the one I was trying to remember a while back. And she went on the grift of like, oh, if you don't give me money, you hate women. And the corporation is like, you gotta applaud her. She was the first. She was like, what's his name? Jesse Jackson with his Rainbow Coalition shaking down companies to give her money. Bravo, Anita. Bravo. These people, not only are they intellectually dishonest and have no intention of actually enhancing the video game or the movie industry, these people are lazy and delusional. And how many people do you need? Did anyone really ask for game journalism? Did anyone ask for that? I know Nintendo Power. Hey, the new games are coming out, and here you go. But you have one of these situations where the desire on the part of a group of people who want to do this as a career exceeds the demand for the number of people that this industry or this very niche industry can support. And what ends up happening is the result is, see, it's not the video game industry, it's the video game journalism industry. What results, that entity that has resulted, is not only useless, it has no application, no one really, it doesn't really have any value. It's this zombie kind of industry, niche, not huge, but it's a niche industry. But it's this like zombie industry where it's not profitable. People aren't making money. Companies aren't making money. People are barely getting by. But the participants are so desperate to make it work that they do it as a hobby. And essentially, and you've seen this with a lot of boomer journalists. Oh my, the LA Times, they lay off people. The Seattle, whatever, they lay off people. And you hear these journalists, not gaming journalists, but journalists in general. Oh my God, it's a crisis. You need us. We're so critical, important to the world. Like, no, you're a bunch of little Marxist bitches. Shut the fuck up. All you do is bitch and whine about we don't have enough money, and you guys just avoid math all the time. That's you. That's journalists. Shut the fuck up. You provide nothing of value. But they'll protest for a day, and they'll never learn to code. They'll never go do it. They'll never drive truck. They'll never drive Uber. And they cling on and on and on. And then it's no longer this ancillary niche industry that serves the larger industry it reports on in order to, like, for example, get good games or warn people about bad games. It only becomes this self-serving entity that desperately tries to cling on. And because the original reason this niche entity, I don't even call it an industry because that would imply something industrious. This niche entity exists. The first step, the reason why, is because these people were lazy. And then they're also childish. We're like, I know, gaming journalism. It would be no different than me saying, what would it be the equivalent of? I want to run a harem studies. I'm going to become a harem master. I'm going to go study harem masters, or I'm going to get a bunch of women. And then adding on top of it, redheaded, big-titted harems. Like, oh, I'm a redheaded, big-titted harem major. That's like gaming journalism. Whereas there's a little problem. There's no economic demand. There's not enough. I'm going to guess. I don't know for a fact. I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess there's not enough women out there like, oh, yeah, I want to be in your harem. Let alone redhead ones with big tatas. And it's the same thing. But I'd be so delusional to keep it up because, yeah, it's my dream. You hear the adult children, the petulant little children, but it's my dream. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Winnetka. I didn't know that. Oh, your dad just didn't have enough money to keep your dreams up, huh? Okay. If you're like in your 30s and 40s, but it's been my dream. I'm sorry. I don't know what you should have left that shit back in college when they're shoving, smoke up your ass. But this gaming journalism that says everything you need to know. I wouldn't give these people the time of day. I wouldn't worry about. Matter of fact, you could almost rely on them to, if they like it, then you know it's bad. You just have to take a -1 times what they say. And if they say it's a good game, then it's probably shit. They say it's a bad game, it's probably pretty good. And that was true with the latest Harry Potter game, which I enjoyed a lot. I'm not a big gamer, and I'm kind of old. But I heard it was an exact instance or example of where you could take the negative. I pay attention to like Yellow Flash and Endymion, and I tune into those guys, and they said, "Wow, the whatever perpetual sand in their vagina group." It doesn't matter. It could be whatever, a racial or a sexual or a different gender or whatever. It was some group that always has sand in their vagina. That's doesn't matter what group the cover is. It's always people who are complaining, right? That's what it is. And the latest Harry Potter thing came out, and what there was, even I saw it. There was like gay characters in the video game, and I think it was maybe not the gay, maybe it was the umbrella LGBTQ apostrophe, whatever else. Oh my! Oh, but no, it was because the author, I forget her name. She wasn't. She didn't bend the knee far enough. She's already a leftist. But she wasn't leftist enough. And then this group came out. Oh, this is a horrible anti-whatever trans or something game, but it was a really good game. People got sick, and they said this is catching a lot of flack. People say the game is pretty good, but this group of people, they really hate it. They're going after. I'm like, yeah, I do want to buy that now. I am going to try. Wow, it's good. It's a really good game. I liked it very much. And then my house get hit by lightning, and it fried my Xbox. I was like, well, that was that. And so Cappy was very sad. But the takeaway from this and applying it to your real life, not only because of what they say, you can largely write off game journalists, but understand the concept. If you are game journalists, same as sports management, you're going to attract that's what it is. Little children who are not serious about anything. They really just want to, I don't want to work. I want to bang on my drums all day. It's the same thing as the esports management bro who's like, oh, maybe I get to hobnob with anything to avoid math. It boils down to this is what? Anything to avoid math. That's all it is. Anything to avoid hard work and math. That's it. And when someone selects or identifies as a games journalist, again, it'd be like me. I'm a redheaded harem master. Just ignore them. It's flawed in them choosing this career, because the career shouldn't exist in the first place, because it's not a career. It's not a hobby. Sure, if you're a hobbyist, D&D Quarterly, or I'm sure there were some actual engineers and productive people in society that wrote the occasional article in Popular Mechanics back in the day. But games journalists, you have little children writing about their fifis about video games, and they don't even half the time they're not even playing these games, and they sure as fuck don't know how to program them. And so you could just the idea, why would you subscribe to these people? Why? I mean, if there's any real journalists, it would be the YouTube channels that cover this. And even those guys didn't do it. They didn't do this on purpose. They didn't come out like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to be this internet YouTuber. Same thing here. I didn't intend on this. I had a real job at one time. Those are the people you should listen to. AGB, $5. You seen the Stella Blade controversy? Exactly. Oh no, there's a pretty girl in the video game. Fuck you. You should be a pretty girl. Why is that controversial? Are not pretty girls part of society? Do we not have pretty? Well, not in the United States, but other places I hear on the globe they have them. Don't you want to be diverse? They used a hot female lead, which pissed off a lot of feminists, right? Because they're not for having fun. These game journalists are not for having fun. They're there to push their agenda. Laziness and ego. I think that would be the two things that drive them. The team fired their feminist employees too. Good, they should, because you don't make money with feminist political stuff. You're not making money. There should be no politics in video games. None. Shark Taw's 10 generous bucks. Everyone subscribe to his channel. Greens Cappy, how have you been? I'm all right. Finally been catching up with some stuff. It's as you always say, there's two ways to do things, the hard way and the really hard way. Safe travels overseas. Yeah. You know what's great about Anita Sarkeesian is she gave people the delusional impression that you could actually make money doing this. And so kind of like how Sex in the City got a bunch of women my generation to go and piss away their eggs in youth in an overpriced leftist shithole and have no money because they spent it all on rent. Now they don't have any retirement money. Go ask them. Go take a look at some data and statistics. Sarkeesian did the same thing with these people where, oh my God, she made all this money. And maybe they didn't, she never published her tax returns, so you never really knew. But they saw the attention. And then everyone, I want to be a games journalist. I want to be an internet influencer. And what ends up happening? They're all poor. All these industries, game journalism or not, they're all poor. All these journalists, presumably the real ones, they're getting laid off. They're getting replaced by AI. They all say the same damn thing. And all they do is waste their lives. I know you guys don't like Anita Sarkeesian, but you got to realize, hey, think of all the damage she did. Hoodwink, not consciously, that's the wrong word. Not her personally, but her career that most people could see. Think of all the people she got to try and be video game journalists / activists. Think of all the people who like, oh, I want to be an activist to save the world. They live paycheck to paycheck. They 9 out of 10 times they need mom or dad or the government to bail them out. These people have tons of student loan. They're not making that much money. They're not. So you think, oh man, they get to be a games journalist. Dude, go ahead, look up. I mean, you can't look this up, but go look up Kotaku's. If you could see the tax returns of all the people who write for Kotaku, it won't be impressive. It really won't. There might be a star journalist, sure, but it's like lawyers or actors or actresses, or OnlyFans girls. The vast majority of people make nothing, and there's just this top little 1 or 2%, which I would argue to the video games journalism community, you should go and tax those people. I think the employers should redistribute the income more fairly to all you hardworking games journalists. How dare the Young Turks make so much money? They should redistribute it to all the leftist YouTube channels. All right, there you go. So link below so you don't have the life of a video game journalist, which is poverty and no life at all. Go get the book Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. You can write articles, game journalism on the side, absolutely, but you probably should be a CPA. You should probably be a surgeon or a dentist or something, truck driver on the side. To pursue your passions. Oh, did you listen to the Boomer Professors? And you major what you were passionate about? Oh, how'd that work for you? Yeah. I'm the dick. I'm the dick because I'm making fun of you majoring in dumb shit. Not the person who lied to you and cost you $200,000 in all of your finances and all of your youth. No, that professor was a Marxist, leftist, Democrat type who told you what you want to hear. He's great. But the guy who said, hey, maybe you shouldn't like cripple yourself financially with stupid degree choices, I'm the bad guy. All right, there you go. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.